Greetings friends, Happy New Year. I hope you have had a good start to 2026. Mine has been a little bit up and down. Yesterday, well, first of all, depending on when this gets out, this video, I'm not sure I'll be able to edit it and put it out tonight, which is what I am intending. But if you're watching in the future or whatever, I am filming this on the 2nd of January 2026. And yesterday, my day started off really well. I was getting things done. I went out with my partner to get coffees and go for a nice long walk. And then in the afternoon, I just completely crashed. I felt like I could barely stay awake. But when I tried to have a rest and a nap, I couldn't sleep either. And I just felt so tired and so horrible. For the rest of the afternoon, I don't know what's going on. This is something that I've been dealing with for the last few months now, and I can't figure out what it is. I thought it was my sinuses. I've been to the ENT. Apparently there's nothing wrong with my sinuses. Anyway, you don't need to know all of that. I am here today because I wanted to do a bit of crafty planning for the year ahead, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to share that with you. Before I jump in though, I did just want to a little note on my messy craft room that you can see behind me here. If you have watched these videos before, then you may recognize that things look a little bit different. I used to have like a writing bureau there, and I used to have a chair, an armchair behind me there that I used to knit in, but we are in the process of getting ready to move house, and it's involved a lot of mess. I have barely touched the surface of my craft room, and I emptied that writing bureau. I've emptied a lot of my shelves. I've boxed up a lot of things, but I am just so overwhelmed with how much stuff I have. Not in a way that makes me think, oh, like I have more things that I need, or not in a way that's like, why do I have all of this stuff? It's just I have a lot of stuff. I still like most of it, and I still want to use most of it. There are bits and pieces that I'm going to be donating here and there, but for the most part, it's just trying to organize and really think hard about, do I really want to hang on to this thing that I haven't used in however long. Anyway, that explains the mess behind me, but we are now going to switch things up and focus in on my desk. I spent like the last hour or more probably trying to figure out this whole a new setup, a new way to film, where I have, like in my Vlogmases, where I have the little image of me, my face in the corner, while you can see what I am working on. And the way that I was doing it over Vlogmas, it was just not working out very well. There were, my computer was just really struggling with the editing and just like handling like all the different cameras and everything. So I've done a bit of digging into like how I can record all of that like in one hit, so I don't need to be working with multiple big files and it's just one big file. Anyway, you don't really need to know that. I need to swing this around now and get the overhead setup working, so let us do that now and get into some planning. Where do I start? Oh, I just wanted to mention this really quickly. I bought this months ago, and I've used it a little bit. It's a thermal printer. The brand of it is Faux Memo. And I haven't used it a whole lot. Oh, sorry, I was looking up at my computer camera, but I forgot that I have now switched to the iPad camera, and you are down here, not up there. Yeah, I hadn't used this. I've used it a little bit here and there, but not too often. But while I was like setting up my bullet journal for the next year and doing some other bits and pieces, I have found it really fun and really useful to be using that. And I have some rolls of normal thermal receipt type paper for it, and I also have some rolls of sticky back thermal paper that I use. And so I just thought I'd do a really quick flip through of how I have set up my bullet journal for this year. I've kind of just set it up. I haven't completely populated everything yet, but when I do go to populate the dates and things for my future log, I will also be referencing this calendar here. I've gotten it for the last few years. I really like how simple and minimal it is, and it has sort of all of the things that I care about. So first of all, this is from a company called Bespoke Letterpress. I believe they're based in New South Wales, and this is a fridge calendar, which has been fantastic. And these backboards of them are so like strong and good, and they've got like these great big magnets on them that I have kept the backs when the year has ended. So that's one thing. But these are excellent because they have all of the Australian public holidays. They have our moon phases, and they've got, I like that they've got here the zodiac, so when each zodiac starts. And they also have they have this lovely gold trim on the edges. Little section for notes that I use sometimes, but sometimes isn't that that necessary. Cute little icon there for Valentine's Day. But they also have, like in here, they've got like the equinoxes and the equinoxes and solstices. So I really like, this is a really fantastic still looking in the wrong spot. This is a really fantastic calendar that I really love using. And so I'll be referencing that when I actually populate my bullet journal. Where can I put this? I'm running out of space. It's such a mess in this room. So this is just my sort of cover page for 2026. I'm trying to use up all of these stickers that I made. I just cut up all of these letters and ran them through a sticker machine. And I'm kind of trying to use them up. But this here, this lunar calendar, it's one that I have been referencing online when I set up each month for my bullet journal, and I actually went ahead and printed all of these on my thermal printer that I just showed you. So that's that there. And then what is next after this? I have my future logs all ready to go. So again, I've just printed those same calendars again. I had them on slightly different print settings, just to, because I feel like I think I printed this one first and I wanted it to be a bit darker, so then I printed these. Anyway, this is a style of future log that I have used previously. It's the one that's at the front of this diary. But I kind of like it because I feel like it doesn't waste any space. So when I have an event, I just write it down, and then in the column for the month, that's where I put the date that it is. So for example, I don't know, Valentine's Day. So I'll put here Valentine's Day, I'll put a 14 in the F column. And then that way I don't have to have like each calendar like taking up a page or something like that, and I've got enough space to like write all of the details that I need. Yes, I also just have to, I'm gonna shift a smidgeroo to the side because of where my face is on the screen. I keep trying to center this here, but then it's blocked. So if I kind of make this my center, then hopefully I'll keep things in frame for you. So anyway, because I've already used half or just under half of this notebook for this, for the second half of 2025, just because that's where my previous journal ended, I figured, well, maybe it'll probably take me another half year to get to the end of this. So I have only set up the future log for the first 6 months to have this much space, and then the remainder of the year is like this, because I figure once I get closer to that point where I need to be filling in more things here, then I'll probably be ready to start a new journal. I have got here, I saw a thing online about the 8 dimensions of wellness or well-being or something like that. I kind of like it better than the level 10 life, which I had put in my the very, very start of my 2025 bullet journal setup. So as you can see, it's still all blank. I need to just put in some things here that I want to focus on, but I want to make a note because I saw something on Pinterest this morning that I want to use to try to set this up next time. So I'll just make a note here. I'm very sort of like rough in my bullet journal. Like I'll have scribbles and notes wherever. I don't really try to make things look perfect. I like things to be like a little bit pretty, but I don't want to have to put too much effort into things really. So next year, try this in a mandalart, which is a mandala chart. And I just thought it looked interesting. And it's just a different way of laying this out that I may like better. When I set this up at the start of the year, I actually set it up just for July, and I made it look a little bit prettier. Just by giving it some shadow, but anyway, so that's my 8 dimensions of wellness. And then this, I needed to show you my previous. So last year, do I have all of the bits and pieces? So last year for 2025, I tried this setup. I wanted to have a layout of tracking like all of my crafting for the year, but to be honest, this spread was completely blank until I think the 31st of December. What I did actually use throughout the year was this calendar here, which is a desk calendar, and because it was actually out open on my desk, I could see it. And I just was sort of like marking each day that I worked on something and what that thing was. So I did maintain that through the year, just like out of curiosity to see what I'm working on and where my time is spent. And then at the very, very end of the year, I transferred that into this spread here. But I feel like it's not really like, I don't know, I didn't love how this spread works, or at least I didn't love how like I was using it or not using it. So this year I'm trying something different. I've set up a kind of year in pixels, and usually when you see year in pixels setups, they don't have all of the dates set out like this, because they just have them all in like a block that's all lined up at the top, and the dates all run down. But I wanted to have it so that the weekends all line up and you can kind of see that. So I have all of the months starting at different points, and then this is my little legend for it on this side here. So here, for example, if I knit today on the 2nd of Jan, I will color in that box. If I spin, it gets gets a circle. Like I just use those icons, and the way that those icons work is so if I do everything a day, which I never will, then it will look like this. So knit, spin, weave, stitch, crochet, and paper crafts. So it kind of does that asterisky thing, and I think that might be maybe sort of like a more interesting way to record, catalog my year in crafts. And then I found all of these little icons online that I printed on my thermal printer and cut out. And every time like I make anything in any of these categories, so this is, the left side is tracking my days, and then the right side is tracking like my projects. So I'll just put like a star or something for every beanie that I finish, for example, every pair of socks that I finish, every weaving project that I finish, that kind of thing. So that's that one. And then I guess that's it. Then I go into January, and I always like marking out the like the moon phases. I haven't actually filled it in, I've just sort of marked the major points. And this is something new that I've done for this month as well, is at the start of each week have an extra little box where I can set out my goal or main focus for that particular week. And then this is the bit that probably takes the most effort. I have sort of made a template for myself, which is just this here, because I really like hexagons. Hexagons are the bestigons. But it is a little bit of effort to set up, but I have missed doing it. I didn't do it at all for any of the months in this particular journal. In this one I was doing it, and I tried a whole bunch of different other trackers as well. So I tried like so I tried like more linear ones, and this one was also like tracking my hours of sleep, but I sort of stopped doing that because it felt like too much effort to like keep up with every single day, like doing all of this. So yeah, my favorite is the hexagon, just because I think it's like the prettiest. I like it. And then Perpetual Taskmaster, I name this like something different like every month. It's kind of just a list of tasks that I could do. I think usually that is what I call it, could do. The could do list. And that's just like little things that I haven't. Yeah, so this was in last month's one. I have things like update some of my Ravelry projects. Yeah, so that's the could do, perpetual, ongoing, whatever you want to call it, task list. Oh, and I've sort of liked doing this. So I've got a media consumed page, and then I have a column for things I've watched, listened to, and read. And for a little while I was having this at the start of each week, but then each week I was kind of like writing the same thing. So this is the first time I've set it up for the start of the month, just so that I can sort of look back and see, well, what did I actually like watch, listen to, and read this month. Just like I don't know if I'll keep going with that one, but we shall see. This is from the Christmas stamps that I bought this year. I have to just use everything. If there's something that I feel like can still be used, I don't want it to go to waste. So as you can see here, I've used one as like a frame for the day, and this was pretty much all I did yesterday. We walked, we got some drinks, so I took photos of the drinks that I printed on my thermal printer, and then this was just the extra month of January to show that that is what I did yesterday. So usually when I do a day, I usually actually set it up the night before. So usually I will sit down, I will check off my to-do list, for that particular day that has been. I'll write down like a gratitude or a highlight for that day, and then I'll set up the next day, do the to-do list of all of the things that I want to do, or any, you know, appointments, anything that's like scheduled. And that was a bigger walkthrough than I expected to share with you, but that's my bullet journal. What I had actually intended for this video to be is me setting up my, like, a master projects list. So this is one that I had for 2025, and it's kind of just been propped up against the wall on the side of my desk, and I haven't really like gone back and looked at it, but we can check some things here. So optic blanket, I didn't do. Growth rings, I did do. I finished that on the 30th of December. Photo cross stitch, I finished that. That one I've already ticked off. Half finished books, I did a little bit of work on them, but I didn't finish them. This one I didn't touch at all. Oh, this one I started, the Sasawashi headband. That's actually the wheat headband that I started in one of the Vlogmases. I did that. I tried to do that in a Vlogmas and it turned into something else. This one I did do. This I did some of, not the ones that I had intended to do. Socks. I knit 4 pairs of socks last year. Go Dynamite. Oh my god, I still haven't finished that. I haven't finished that spin. I didn't do this. I didn't sew this. I didn't stitch this. I did do this one, my thrummed muffler. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I didn't sew this. I did make this. Oh, I'm a bit pleased actually. I thought there would be a lot more left on here that wasn't ticked off. But I do want to do this a little bit differently next year. So if I just pop that to the side where I can see it. So back where it was, I kind of want to try doing it as a Kanban board this year. So am I going to be really fussy and try to measure this out somewhat, even though it really doesn't need to be. How wide is this? 47. How many do I need? Let's see. I think I only need, do you only need 3 for a Kanban? Is that, because isn't it, it's like all of the things and then it's in progress and then it's finished. I feel like there was a 4th category, but I can't remember it now. I can't remember it now. So we'll just do 3. Something like that. And then we have projects, and then this becomes whips, and then this becomes finished. No, I was going to say whips and UFOs, but let's stick with whips. So then how I want to do it is I want to use these Post-its that I have. Okay, and I wanted the different colors to have meanings. So I think what it's going to be is yellow is going to be projects that are that were whips before the start of the year. So UFOs prior to 2026. Green will be things for within my household, so things for me and my partner and for our home. I will do blue for projects for struggling with words here. Blue will be projects for family, obviously outside of what I consider my immediate family of me and my partner. So like, yeah, family, and then purple will be projects for outside of the family. So for now, everything, well, most things will be going into projects. Obviously all the yellows should be in whips. So let's try to think of all of the projects that I have. Oh, Go Go Dynamo was on that list. So Go Go Dynamo. So I'm just going to get everything on here, and then I'll have to figure out if and how I want to do some kind of like priorities things. So with shawls, I also haven't finished the One Love shawl. And this is honestly mostly going to be knitting projects. I didn't finish that wheat headband, which was the Sasawashi headband on my other list, on my 2025 list. I did, I've started I-cord necklaces. I started 2 of them in my Vlogmases. Do I want to list them separately? I'll list one for now, and if I have space, then I will put the other one. I-cord necklace. Sometimes my C's look like L's. What else do I have ongoing? I want to reknit the collar on the cozy hubby. I don't have any ongoing sock projects. I finished that. I think that is all of my whips. Yep. So I could add some non-knitting things on here, but oh no, I should. Okay, so let me put the Rancy Spin, which is the big fleece that I have been trying to get to forever and ever. And the other craft that I have actually started, well, I can put the second I-cord necklace. So this one is going to be the, I think the yarn for it was called Happy. So I called one Happy, and I called the other one Hand Spun I-cord necklace. Hand spun. And there is a top that I have cut the pieces for, but I have not put together. And who did that? It was Clockwork. Okay, so that's a sewing one. Okay, I think that is all of my existing whips. Oh, there are the books that I started binding many, many years ago and are still ongoing. But I don't know that I'll actually get to them realistically this year, so I'm not going to include those. Okay. Okay, what are the other projects? So there is the optic blanket. I do still want to do that. I don't know that I will get to it this year. It's just like the perpetually put off blanket. Poor blanket. One day I will do it. What else do I want to make? I want to make, blue was in the family, wasn't it? So I want to make I have a lot of beanie projects that I want to make as gifts this year. And I'm pretty sure that the people in these families do not watch my YouTube. I'm pretty sure they don't even know I have a YouTube. I've never really talked about it with them, but I made this column a little bit narrower. I just am not putting names just in case. And then outside of the family, I know that I also want to make some beanies as gifts for this is one. Oop. That one and this. What else did I want to make? I feel like there was more than that. See, the thing is, I could put socks. I want to make more socks for myself. But that, I don't want to list like how many socks and all the patterns that I want to make. So if I put a thing for socks, then that'll go into projects and then whips. But then I feel like it will never go in the finished, because once I have finished one, I'll put it back into projects. That should be fine, right? So, and I'm only listing socks for me, not for my partner, because he doesn't want socks for a while. He's told me that if I make socks for him, he's going to save them, because we're going to move again at the end of the year, and he wants to save them all for that move, and he doesn't want me to make any more socks for him when he's not going to wear them. He wants me to make socks for myself. So socks for me. And then, is that it? I swear there's more. I swear there was more that I knew that I wanted to do. Is that it? And I can't look through my Ravelry queue, because for one thing I'm filming on it up here on my phone. I'm filming with my iPad and I'm recording on my computer, but also there are over 500 things on my Ravelry queue. So, and this seems like a lot. This seems like plenty. Oh, I do want to, so this spin project here, depending how the yarn turns out, my goal for this spin was always to make another jumper for my partner, and I'm pretty sure what I wanted to do, again depending on the weight of it, I think it's going to be too thick for what I want to do, but I wanted to make him another Redford sweater because I kind of stuffed up my previous Redford sweater. The thing is, that one calls for fingering weight yarn. I feel like you could get away with sport. You could probably get away with DK as well if you make if you go for just a smidge of like a looser gauge and like sized down so that you get a bigger size. But I don't want to write Redford in case this ends up being like a worsted weight or a bulky yarn or something like that. So I will just say, I will say I'll just call it a Rancy sweater, a Rance, because that was the name of the sheep. It looked like Rance, and I've never known if I say that correctly. But I don't want to rush into, actually, you know, one thing that I can put on here is, so I made the cozy hubby for my partner, and I want to make the cozy wifey for myself. Oh, and I just remembered the other one as well. This one was for family, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, I'm remembering things. Okay. I have been promising my bestie a sweater for maybe 2 years now. So this one is a top priority, and I nearly forgot about it. So this is Pink Fizz. I have already swatched. I have the yarn ready. And then I also had the thought that there is someone else that I did want to make a jumper for, and I wanted to make, it's called Plover, and it is in one of my making magazines. I'm pretty sure that's the one that I have picked out. And then I would like to make some more Christmas ornaments too, but I don't think I'm going to get to it. Let's put some non-knitting things on here now. So let's see, we have, I mean, this is a lot of knitting. This is definitely going to fill my year, and it's not hard to see why I don't get to my other crafts, but I really, really want to weave this like set of yarn, hand spun yarn that I bought the first time I ever went to the Bendigo Sheep and Wool show. So, oh no, wrong color, this color. So, whoops. So that is one. I really, really want to follow along. So I've mentioned in a couple of previous videos that I discovered the YouTube channel K3N Cloth Tales early 2025, and I got obsessed with it. I really, really, really want to follow along with her A to Z of stitching year-long project this year. So I'm just going to do K3N. So I really, really want to do that. And like there is one other spinning project that I'm tempted to add to this list, but considering how big this spin still is, I feel like I don't want to put that on myself. But there is some Tandy fibre that I bought a couple of years ago that I know what I like, how I want to spin it, but I don't want to put the pressure on myself by putting it on this list. That's plenty, right? I really shouldn't add more to this list and overwhelm myself. I'm just gonna look back at this 2025 list, and so optic blankets on there. I'm ignoring the books. I'm ignoring the book box. That headband's on there. The face scrubbies. Oh, I don't know if I still want to make those. Yeah, I kind of do. Face scrubbies could be for me, or they could be gifts for other people. Let's just leave that one for a sec. Go Dynamo's on there. That weaving project is on there. Oh, yeah. This one is so small, an armband. There's a really simple armband that I want to sew so that I don't need to bring a bag if I'm walking and I want to have my phone with me and I don't need to hold my phone. But also I do have a bum bag. So let's ignore that. Lightweight quilt, Death of Rats, Charmander. I would like to make these. These are crochet projects, the Death of Rats and the Charmander. Let's include those. They are blue. Because crochet is quick. I feel like I'm just trying to like fill this whole thing, which I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't be doing. It's going to be a busy year for us. Charmander. And okay, so the other thing that is, the only other thing that I think that I want to add is cross stitching. So honestly, if I do actually get around to starting a cross stitch project this year, which I'm not sure that I will, there are 3 things that I could do. I have one big giant Hogwarts cross stitch pattern. I have a smaller Hogwarts cross stitch pattern, and I have the project that I didn't end up getting to at all for Vlogmas last year, which is a whole bunch of like little Christmas themed cross stitches, which I want to then quilt into a blanket. I think that is probably lowest on my priorities. I think all of the cross stitches actually are pretty low on my priorities. I would love to sew more, but I don't think I'm going to get to any sewing this year. So maybe we will leave off the cross stitching and we will leave off the sewing. And maybe this will do. Is this enough? Is this enough projects? I feel like it's a good mix. There are 5 greens, 5 blues, and 4 purples. I feel like that's a good mix of things. But then pretty much all of these would be green. All of the yellows would be green. I'm totally not going to get to the optic blanket. I feel like that's just really not a priority this year. Let's make this pretty. So I have some fun things here. Some fun stamps that I have bought for my journaling. And what can I use here? Oh, I bought this stamp was to indicate spinning projects. A ball of yarn, obviously for knitting, could also be for crochet. That's it. Huh, I thought I had bought a needle and thread one for sewing, but I don't have an icon to indicate sewing. Maybe we won't stamp it. I know. Okay, so we won't use those stamps. I do just want to indicate what the priorities are. So we will use this Pilot Friction stamp here that I bought from Officeworks. And I will just use that to mark the most important projects. So we'll start with the whips. Go Go Dynamo. I would like to finish it, not a priority. One Love. I probably will finish it, but it's not a priority. Not a priority, not a priority. This is a priority. Okay. Ooh. That wasn't a very good one. So Cozy Hubby's a priority. This spin is a priority. I think I just pressed too hard there. So that's a priority. Not a priority, not a priority. Okay, Optic Blanket. Not a priority, but I was kind of thinking I might just be absolutely crazy and I might try to make that my one project for the Colours of Fall knit along this year, which is 3 months. My battery is low. Is that better? Oh, that's not plugged in. Okay, we're going to be quick before my battery dies. We're nearly there. Okay. Yeah, so I would like to challenge myself to try to do that for the Colours of Fall knit along. We shall see. These ones I would really like to do for their birthdays this year. I don't know that I will. These ones are a priority though. 1, 2, and 3. They're a priority. Pink Fizz is a priority. Not a priority, not a priority. Yeah, that's a priority. I really want to do that one for that person this year. Not a priority, not a priority, not a priority. The K3N thing, technically it's not a priority, but if I don't do it, if I don't go along with her as she does it this year, I'm not going to go back and do it. So I'm going to do that. And then I can do this. I can put them in some order. So that's a priority. That's a priority. Well, let's leave the weight headband there because I would like to get that done. And then okay, and then let's put the priority things up the top here. So let us do that one, and then that one. Just because I want to keep these all in a row, I am just oh, we can put K3N up there. This is fun. I've never done this kind of board before. Is it a Kanban board or a Scrum board? I'm not really sure what you would call it. Let's put these next. They can stay there, and then this can go up here. The weave, and then these little things for me here. I would like to make a beanie for myself too, but I think I have enough going on. Lots of beanies this year. I want to make it 5 at least. All right. Well, that's my crafting plans. I feel a bit overwhelmed, but at the same time excited, and I also look forward to sharing these makes with you, and I hope you come back when I do share them. And I am going to leave it there. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful I didn't know where to start. Year, weekend, day, evening, everything. And I hope that you get to prioritize your making as well. I'll see you in the next video. Fare thee well.